Hello, this is Guillem Godoy. I'm gonna show you an example of programming an app using Android Studio. For that, we're gonna choose a simple example consisting in programming the Tic Tac Toe, which is the classical game which is played. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, it is played in a 3x3 grid. It's a two-player game, and each player tries to put three identical pieces in a row. They put tokens alternatively, and the first one who gets three identical tokens, his tokens, in either a row or a column or any of the two diagonals, is the winner. Okay, so for example, this could be the first move of the first player, then the second one could put here, next one here, second one here, third one here. Sorry, first one. Look, at this point, the winner is who started first and drawing crosses. Okay. Well, so let's move to build the app which will allow us to play this game. I've already created a new project in Android Studio by choosing empty activity. Okay, and well, in order to begin, okay, I wanna point out that I'm gonna do this programmatically, which is we're gonna ignore the XML file. That's why the set content view, the XML file is is put off. It's removed, and well, it seems natural to create a basic element called cell, like a private class, because we will work with nine cells, 3x3 cells, and we will be doing almost the same for each of them. Okay, so let's try to proceed in this way. I create this private class cell, and for example, each cell could consist, at least from the layout point of view, it could consist of a button. Okay, it's possible that here you will need, if you are using Windows, for example, you'll need to press Alt Enter in order to do the necessary imports for being allowed to do this declaration in such a simple way. Well, for each cell, we'll want to keep the value that has been assigned there. Okay, let's do that with a string value. Okay, this value will be the empty string at the beginning, but it can be assigned next, for example, for representing a cross, or an O, an uppercase O for representing the other sort of token. Okay. Well, now in the constructor, we will pass something necessary in order to create the button. Remember that for creating a button, we need to pass the context, which was usually this value, which is refers to the activity itself. But in order to make it visible here, we will pass it as a parameter. Let's call it this with uppercase. Sorry. And well, yeah, we create the button itself passing this context. Yeah, the string is implicitly initialized as empty, but let's make that explicit just for clarity. Okay, and well, more things need to be done here, but let's put them off by now. We will need 3 times 3 cells. Let's put these globally because maybe we will use them elsewhere. And okay, let's call them table. Well, so what's that? Yeah, I don't know what's that doing here. Okay. Well, a table must be initialized 3 times 3 cell. Sorry, I don't know why this is being marked. Okay, we need the new, and each of those cells must be properly initialized. By creating them and passing the corresponding context. Sorry, that's a table. Okay, and once, okay, pay attention. So far we have created all cells. Each cell contains a button, but we have not put those buttons anywhere. So we will need to put them, for example, in a grid layout. Let's declare one. A grid, sorry, not here. Well, a grid layout arranges the views that we add to it in a grid shape. So yeah, that seems to be convenient for us. Yeah, it's the grid layout. And we also need to set the column count to 3. In this way, the grid layout will arrange the elements we add in 3 columns. When we reach the 4th column, then we move to the 1st column automatically, and so on. Well, so yeah, the corresponding button of each cell must be added to the grid by adding it as a view. This is the button. Okay. And yeah, now we can either make set this grid layout as the content, or if we're willing to add more elements, we could, for example, declare a linear layout. And add the grid layout to the linear layout. Okay, now we can set as content view this linear layout. Okay, so, some things remain to be done. For example, so far we have not programmed anything related to playing the match, but at least by now let's check that everything is working, or for now. Okay, let me see. Well, it seems it takes some time. And well, here it is. We have these 9 buttons arranged in a great shape. So this is working. But now let's make it play. Okay. Well, for that, we need to react to the click events. So for each button, we will set an on-click event listener. That can be defined in many ways, but this is one possibility, which consists in passing as parameter an object of this class, which expects us to define the onClick method. Okay, whatever we write here will be executed once the button is pressed. Okay. Well, what do we have to do? We should check when this button is pressed if its value is still the empty string. Okay. But not only that, we should also, I mean, once it is pressed, okay, we should check if the game is over. But well, by now, let's simply do that. And the value we should assign should depend on the turn, what turn we are. And for example, we could have a global variable turn initialized as cross, uppercase cross. This way, crosses are who start to play. And when we click an still empty button, we will change this value to the turn, and we will change the turn. Okay, so the turn now, it will be, for example, if the current turn is an X, we will change it to O, and otherwise we'll change it to X. Okay. Well, let's see if this is working. So it is not. Why is that? Because I forgot not only we not only have to change the value, but also the contents, the text of the button. Okay, so we must set its text to the current value. Okay, so go ahead again. Let's go ahead. Okay, not seen. Oh yeah, now it's working. Okay, but it's not yet having a control of whether the game is over or not. So let's do that. Okay, if the button has empty string and the game is not over, so okay, it's not finished. Okay, it's marked red because we have not yet defined function finished. So let's do that. Okay, pay attention. In order to check if the game is over, we need to make a similar checking for every column, every row, and every diagonal. And this turns out to check, we need to check if we have the same element in consecutively in any of those lines. Okay. Well, since all of those checkings are quite similar, we're gonna program an auxiliary function. Let's overload the finished, sorry. Yeah, the finished name, but in this case we will pass a starting coordinate from which we will check if we have three identical elements, and also the moving direction with two extra values. Di means how much we need to add to I in order to move to the next cell. And similarly, dj is we have to add to j in order to move to the next cell. So di and dj represent the direction, the moving direction of the line we want to check. Okay? Well, so we need to conduct 3 steps. And for each of those steps, we need to check whether the current element at I and j is not empty, and it coincides with the element at the starting coordinate. So we will need to keep that. Okay, let's call I to the initial I, and jj to the initial j. And at each step, we will have to move to the next coordinate. Sorry. And for each of those coordinates, if the value we have there, remember this is a table of ij.value, is the empty string. In this case, we have not 3 identical assigned elements there, okay? Or, okay, let's jump to the next line. I don't know why. Sorry. Okay, I'll try to arrange them with the same offset later. Or what we have here equals. Okay, it should be not equal. Okay, if it's not equal to the initial value, okay, let's see if we can. Okay, now it's having it properly. Well, if this happens, then we must return false. Okay, because yeah, exactly, we don't have 3 identical elements here. Otherwise, we have found 3 identical elements. We return true. Okay. And now we must use this in order to check every column, every row, every diagonal. So for example, for each, okay, let's start with rows. For each row, if we have finished according to that row, so we start on the leftmost side of the row. That's why we have I0. And we move rightwards, okay? So the I don't change, and we will be adding 1 to the j's, okay? In that case, we return true. Yes, we have finished, okay? Now, similarly, for each column, if we have finished according to that column, in this case we need to move downwards and not change the j's, okay? Well, we return true. And now for, yeah, the diagonal starting at the top left corner, this starts at 0, 0 and move downwards and rightwards. If we've finished, return true. And similarly, if we begin at the top right corner, which is 0, 2, and we need to move downwards and leftwards, we have finished because of that diagonal, we return true. And that's it. Okay. We have here smart not properly closed, but I don't know why. I'm not seeing why. Maybe I've left something is not properly closed, but I'm not seeing why. Okay, let's try to run it and we will see which is the problem now. Yeah. Simply complaining that we don't have a return at the end, sorry. In this case it would be false if we have not found 3 consecutive elements aligned, then the game is not over. Okay, let's see. And it seems that it's working. Cannot, I mean, once the game is over, we cannot do any additional change. Well, so far we have something working quite acceptably. Let's make some changes in order to make the layout look better. For example, we could try to give a size to those buttons. For example, we can make those buttons have a square shape and with a side equal to a third of the screen. That's an option. Okay, and for that we will need to know the exact size of the screen. It can be done in this way. I can get the. I mean, that's a particular way to get the dimensions of the screen. Okay. We have this function which shows up as deprecated, but it will serve us. We need to pass. Point parameter. And by calling this function, not correct. Okay, maybe need to assign it. Okay, by calling this function, point.x will keep the width of the screen. And for example, we could have a variable called button size. And we can assign it, for example, a third of the width of the screen, which is in point.x. Okay, let's declare it. And then use it in order to set the size of the button. Okay, again, this can be set in many different ways. For example, we can pass as layout params something stating yeah, that the sizes, the corresponding sizes of the button are these ones. Okay. Okay. Well, let's see if this is working. No. What could be happening here? Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but okay, at least one mistake we have is that, or I have, it's that I didn't divide it by 3. Uh, yeah, but apart from that, hmm, yeah, I'm not sure what's the problem because, I mean, the size of the button should have been the entire screen, but that hasn't happened. Okay, this is not working this way. Well, let's see. Sorry, the application stopped, so maybe I have an error here. Oh, well, it's complaining that yeah, this parameter is not correct. I don't see why. Yeah, let me check. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, now yeah, I realized that yes, this shouldn't be here, but I mean not in the Onclick. Oh, yeah, I placed this wrongly. This should be in the by the button creation. Okay. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's it. Now these buttons have the intended size, but maybe yeah, the text has not been resized accordingly. So yeah, let's do that. For example, here we can set the text size to, for example, I don't know, let's try button size divided by 10. Okay, perhaps this is not the most, we are just doing this a little bit at random, just testing. Perhaps this is not the most appropriate way to do it, but okay, for now, let's proceed this way. I mean, we will adjust that size if it doesn't look good, but well, maybe this is acceptable. Yeah. Okay. Well, at this point, okay, I will leave it here, but I wanna propose you some, in order to practice with this, to make some variations uh, of what we have so far. For example, it would be nice that once the game is over, the line, the buttons containing the line with the three identical elements, uh, the corresponding texts are marked in red, for example. I mean, once we detect that the match is over, then we turn red the corresponding text. That can be done by changing, by calling the set text color of the corresponding buttons. Okay. Yeah. Where else? Yeah, another option, another interesting change would be to add a reset button, so that once we press it, uh, the match is restarted. Okay, and that would be as easy as adding a new button with an on-click listener that simply traverses the whole table and turns all the values of the buttons back to the empty string, and similarly change the text of the buttons to the empty string. Okay, and uh, as an extra change that I wanna propose you, you could try to adapt this game to this other well-known game, which is, excuse me, the Connect Four. The Connect Four, the goal. I mean, there are some differences. For example, this is a 6x7 grid. Okay, the goal is to have four identical consecutive elements in order to win. But there's another difference. We cannot choose any empty place to put our tokens, but we must choose a column, and the token will be placed at the bottom. I mean, as close to the bottom as possible, as long that it's not occupied by another token. Okay. Yeah. For example, yeah. Let's see if I'm able to win this match. Yeah. I think this is over. But no, this web is not telling me. Ah, yeah. Okay. Okay, detected 4 elements in a row. Okay, so yeah, with yeah, by simple changes you can manage to adapt one game to the other. So I also propose you to make these changes. Perhaps before going away, it could be interesting if I would do an extra adaptation. Look, in this case, sorry, come back here. In this case, we didn't need to center the grid, because its width is the same as the screen. But for example, if you might consider that those buttons are too big, so as button size we could choose, for example, instead of a third, a fourth of it. Now if we run it, it will be a little bit smaller. Takes some time, okay? But now we could be interested in centering the grid, and this can be done, for example, by the way, yeah, in order to add extra elements, it would be good to set the orientation of the linear layout to vertical, but also in order to center its elements, we can set its gravity. Okay, to, for example, center horizontal. Okay, well, let's see if this is working. Yeah. Okay, so we have the grid at the center. Now it's easy here to, okay, I leave this for you. But now it would be easy here to create a new button with that Onclick listener that will conduct a reset of the game. Okay, but that's okay. I leave it as an exercise. Well, so that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. You could make the most of this, and well, I hope to see you in a future video about Android Studio. Okay, bye.